Hey YouTube, Joe's Two Car Garage, coming at you from the porting dungeon, working on the heads for the 99 Pontiac Firebird LSX swap. Um, I know last week I think it was last week when I made the last video, I said I wasn't going to polish the combustion chambers. And well, apparently that was a lie. So we went ahead and polished the combustion chambers. One of the setbacks that I had in doing it, I could not find a set of scrap valves for an 862 head. Nobody had any. Everywhere I checked, they were just non-existent. So this is what I decided. One day, coming home, I was thinking it over, and I thought, I just need something to put in there to protect the valve seat. That's all I need is, a washer or something. Hey, so here we go. I went to the hardware store to pick up some washers, and my fear was that I was going to hit the washer with the grinding tool or the sandpaper roll or whatever and fling it out of there, and then have the grinder go down inside there and hit the seat, screw up the seat. And, while I was shopping, I thought, well, if I was to put a nut and a bolt, bolt them in place, that would work. And the more I thought about it, this idea came out. Cut the head off the bolt, tack weld it together, make it square, put it in there, spin the nut down on it. That way it can't pop around, it can't jump, it can't spin, it can't do anything. And it works so well that the next time I do this, I'm going to make a whole set. That way I can just work on the whole head, and I can jump from cylinder to cylinder and not have to worry about changing their locations every time I move. That slowed me down quite a bit. But this worked really well. I did not have an incident. And you can see by the marks on the face that, that thing tries to climb out of there all the time. So you have to be careful with it. Next time I'll tape them up, but they're not deep enough to worry about. It's just a little bit of scratches from the polishing compound or a fine sandpaper roll. Everything else was stones, and they stayed in there pretty well. So anyway, once we were done with the combustion chambers, I had enough stuff left over that I decided to redo the ports. And one of the biggest hurdles that I was facing was the face of the, let's try to, yeah, that camera work. The face of the valve guide boss. They were really rough. And I know the exhaust is coming into this port after combustion, and you want it to flow out of there. And the face of that thing was just horrible. On all of them, I couldn't figure out a way to get in there with a tool of any kind to fix that. And I had a pink round ball stone, and that worked really good to get in there and just clean things up a little. They're not perfect, but it helped a lot. So I went around and cleaned those up and made them fairly nice. And then I repolished everything all the way out, both sides. And everything's pretty dirty except for this one port here. I kind of wiped it out as best I could down here in the basement. So try and show you what it looks like. I got to try and regulate the lighting a little bit because it gets really bright. So just the reflectivity should tell you quite a bit about the polish that's on it. I might as well just point the camera at the light bulb. I'll show you the other side. Put the light in there. Come on now. So anyway, there's a little bit of fine scratches in there, but I've pretty much gotten things smoothed out to the point where I'm happy with them. As far as how they feel, you might as well be rubbing your finger on an ice cube. They're pretty smooth. So I'm happy with them. I think they're gonna do pretty much what I was hoping they would do. The only other thing that I didn't care for after polishing the ports and polishing the combustion chambers, is the size of the valves. And these are the small valves, but I was looking at the size of the combustion chamber and how much room the valves take up, and those valves were, I'd say anywhere from 40 to 60 grit finish on them. They were really rough. So I sat there and stared at them for an hour or two the other day and said, well, why not once more? So we went ahead and polished the face of all the valves. So, took them down to the point where they're smooth. They're not 100% perfect. There's still some, low spots, inside of where the grit used to be. But they're a lot better than they were. That's for sure. So we did both sides. I did the radius inside of the intakes, the flow side of the valve also. And they were, when I took them apart, they had all kinds of buildup and gunk on them. I don't think we're going to have that problem anymore. They're very smooth. I mean, very smooth now. So, like I said, other than the valve stem seals and a bath, I'm calling these done. I do have to go over them visually, one seat at a time and one valve at a time, and look them over real good, make sure that I didn't brush anything with any of the tools, and just make sure nothing needs to be relapped or touched or anything. Other than that, wash them up, change the seals. These are done. Let's see, the block is ready. I honed that last week. I borrowed a hone from Ken C. Ken, I appreciate it. I appreciate your guidance and your help and answering the questions, man. You've been a lifesaver, man. I appreciate it. Ken's got a YouTube channel. He's a turbo guy. He's got an S10 that's awesome, and his bird's going to be badass when he gets that done. So check his channel out. He's got stuff up there here and there. I wish you put up some more stuff, Ken. Your stuff's you're a bad influence on me, man. So anyway, with Ken's help, I got the block ready. It needs to be final washed and, wipe the cylinders out one last time with trans fluid. And once I get the rods back on the pistons and get the rings end gaps checked, we'll be ready to reassemble that. Parts are upstairs for the most part. I've got a few parts left to clean, but other than that, I'm ready to go. I'm going to try and get these heads back together this week. I'm going to wash them up and change the seals and reassemble the springs and the valves. So there you go, YouTube. Oh, one other final thing. I was talking to a guy this week about some seats for the car, so I may have an announcement about that pretty soon, hopefully. I'm really got my fingers crossed. I should know something tomorrow. And that's it. That's all I got for you this week. So hopefully we'll get some more updates up here soon. Things are slowing down for me a little bit. I won't be working so much overtime for right now. So hopefully I'll be making a little bit more progress on this. But we'll see what happens. All right, YouTube. We'll talk to you soon.